Very excited. 𝗧𝗫𝗧𝗍𝗧 from Kids on Top Occupational Therapy in Sydney, Australia. We've got Dr. 𝗧𝗍𝗶𝗶𝗃 in New Zealand, and we have co-authored the upcoming book, which will be available this coming Monday, the 24th of March 2025 on Amazon. Do make sure you click on the link below to get the opt-in. You'll be able to get a special link to have a 24-hour launch far reduced price. So we're looking forward to getting this out there. But what we thought we would talk about today is maybe a misconception that the sleep talk method is a sleep training program or helping with children to get into a routine and helping parents have control at bedtime. And we want to just explain that we're not sleep trainers. However, the sleep talk method is a gentle parenting approach that actually will empower you as a parent to be able to support your child in so many things. And we know through our work with children and families that a lot of the bedtime refusals or the bedtime stresses and strains or the I want a drink of water or just one more story or lay with me till you go to sleep or I need to wander into bed, whatever it is that's causing some kind of fractious dysfunction around bedtime in your family, you can certainly be empowered as a parent to support your child to eliminate some of the emotional or subconscious beliefs that are very, very real to young children that could be causing issues at bedtime. So we're all going to give a little bit of a take on how we feel this handbook can support parents. And Sonia was just mentioning earlier that she gets spoken to a lot about this very issue. And she's got a really great take on how she supports her families in her practice. So I'll let you speak, Sonia, about what you were just talking about, because it sounded really something positive that people would really benefit from.
And setting up a good routine, and not just for sleep, but for the whole day. There is studies to say that actually starting your sleep routine for the nighttime actually starts that morning. So when they get up out of bed, they make their bed and they have their pajamas ready for bed. So when it's bedtime that night, they're ready and prepared to start the bedtime routine smoothly. They're not searching for pajamas. They're not going to a bed that looks messy. So it's calm and it's organised. So then they're off to school. They do what they do during the day, coming home, then it's setting up that routine. And obviously it doesn't have to be exactly the same every day, but having some things that they know that when I've had dinner, then I have a bath, then I have a story read, then I go to bed. Mum or dad or my carer may sit with me to read the book. They may lay down if that's what they do, but then they head off and the child then goes off into sleep. It may involve some patting, some gentle music, all those different things. But once they're off to sleep, then is at the later stages when you can then do the sleep talk method. So they're completely separate degrees of working through sleep and calmness.
Really a sensible way of looking at it, thinking about starting it in the morning when the children get up. And there's one element that I would like to add to the getting up phase, which is children do, go at least 8, sometimes 10 hours, right? And that's a long time to go without nutrition or hydration. So we find that children can very often be a little hypoglycemic in the morning. And one of the tips that we have used with parents, and we've never had anything but positive feedback, is that rather than start the routine in the morning and hurry up, get up, I've told you once, get your shoes on, let's come down, have some breakfast. Children then are feeling a little bit hangry, and it's the low sugar. So a simple thing to do as a parent is to actually just go into the room with a very, very small amount of fresh juice, if you can squeeze some orange juice or some fresh pressed apple juice. And we're talking about maybe 30 mils. That's all that's needed. Tiny little bit in the morning. You go into the child just 5 minutes before they normally would wake up. And you don't actually put any demand on them, and just say, here you are, here's some juice, have this, and wake up your body. You'll find that if you do that, and even just sit there and talk and give them that, it's enough to raise their blood sugar level, so that then they'll be able to put their uniform on, especially, or their clothes for the day, or whatever your particular needs are for your morning routine. And then they've had that edge taken off, that low sugar from sleeping all night. And when that edge is taken off, they're not so hangry and they're not ravenous to have a quick carb fix that's going to burn out by morning tea. Do you want to add to that?
Oh, well, absolutely. And then you're setting up another good routine, is that you're starting the day with a good meal and something that is going to sustain you through in the school day or the morning daycare, whatever it might be, to morning tea or to the crunch and sip or whatever it is that the school does. So then they're in their optimal learning, they're calm and they're ready for learning. They're also, if they are having any issues, they're more in a space that they're happy to speak about something, to speak up, and able to manage some of the concerns that they may be having, whether they're sensory or they're social or they're some sort of concern with a friendship group, etc. So that probably goes on to you there, Colette, regarding the that social psychological type setup.
Yeah, I mean, it's I think in terms of, are you talking about in terms of socializing for the parents or the children?
Well, sort of for the child, I think, sort of they're able to manage any friendship issues if they've started the day off well, they've got up,
Right.
they've had that
nutrition. Yeah, let's talk about the psychonutrition.
Nutritionally, yeah.
Well, we know that the nutrition and having children, I mean, it's a big topic at the moment in New Zealand around school lunches, but we know that having children fed and well fed and good nutrition helps them not only for the day at school but throughout their life, and their learning and their ability. I mean, if you're a hungry child, or you've maybe rushed out and they haven't had time for breakfast, that doesn't put that child in a space to be friendly and to make friends, and so it's really that's really important. But I think
sorry, I was going to say, sometimes with the sleep talk method, that if they're having struggling with the social side of things or friendship groups, that even though we've set them up hopefully with the good meal during the day, but at night when they are asleep, you go in with the sleep talk method and can give them those positive affirmations regarding their friendship groups or whatever it is that may be causing them distress during their day.
Absolutely. And I think that goes back then to that bedtime routine, where often parents are really stressed if their child isn't sleeping. And this is what I was, alluding to in terms of, talking with other parents about sleep. And some parents have children that go to sleep and are amazing, and that can put a lot of pressure on a parent whose child doesn't go to sleep easily. And I think if you've got the sleep talk method, will allow the parent to have some calm time and to become calmer and create that calmer family environment. where they don't feel as stressed about that. And I think there's a lot of pressure on parents too. Oh, they must have 12 hours sleep or 13 hours sleep or however many hours, otherwise you're a bad parent, you know, if your child doesn't go to sleep properly. The same with nutrition. Yet food and sleep are the things that children can control. And it's often that they do use, you know, they can control that. And so it's really hard and can be really frustrating for a parent to not be able to have their child, you know, sleeping properly. So creating that routine, as you said, Sonia, but also knowing that, you know, with the sleep talk method, you're creating that environment and that link of calmness between the parent and the child each night, which will go over to the next day and into the following night. So you're building up, and I mean, it's not something that happens overnight, but it's, you know, you're building up that calmness and that peaceful family environment for the nighttime routine. So it will help, even though it's not a bedtime routine solution as such, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I think the point is we need to, as parents, have predictable elements for our children.
Yeah.
That just become effortless, and everything has to just slowly and gently evolve, because you're quite correct in what you've said, Colette. Children can use food, sleep, tummy issues, constipations, all of those things as a control. And often they will biophysiologically control these things, and the attention or the stresses or the strains that ripples on in the family is a learned behavior. Children aren't, again, we've said it so many times, not trying to be obstructive, but it can cause so much stress and strain. And the other thing we must remember, and this is something that I've talked about for many years with parents, is we often will dish up dinner to children in the evening. They're absolutely exhausted. Children can't be bothered chewing. I mean, it takes effort. So they want jammy sandwiches, or they want bolognese or soup or milkshakes night after night after night, because the act of if you're a 3-year-old who spent a full day at kinder, had your afternoon nap, got up, spent the afternoon playing, and then it's evening and you're meant to sit down and have your dinner. Again, just because we have a mindset of 3 meals a day, that doesn't necessarily mean we can't work around what works for our child. If your child's ravenous when they get home from school, give them their dinner then. And then at dinner time, give them a snack to get them through. It can be all the difference between just helping them with their hunger and their hypoglycemia. Children also get dehydrated. Water is really important for children. They need to be able to drink a lot of that because it hydrates the cells, and it's very important. And being able to consider using ways to bring in nutrition in blended or sauces, easy for them to take in, because that's a factor that a lot of people, I think, aren't aware of. Chewing is a big effort when you're 3 and you've had a big day at kinder or playgroup or anything like that. You want things that are just easy and you don't have to think about it. And chewing, swallowing, that is a whole lot of mechanics going on there, which can be exhausting. I mean, as an occupational therapist, do you want to add anything to that, Sonia?
Oh, and also the jaw. I mean, they say it's the strongest joint in the body. So, and the crushing that can go on there, but it is exhausting. So, and so often with little kids, they have had a fairly decent meal throughout the day. Usually, often the big one in the middle of the day. They've had some snacks with fruits and vegetables. So by the end of the day, it's just have them, it's very important to have them maybe at the meal table and having something, but they may not need as much food as what is on the plate. But also that creates I mean, as you said, call it their control over food. But then I always have the concerns that if you're forcing food, you're then creating that power play, and also you can set up for eating disorders, which is
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. So I think it's sometimes, I'm probably going a bit off track here, but to allow young children, you know, to have some control over something, and so then they have a choice of something. So which socks do you want to wear? Something that's not necessarily hugely important. I mean, it doesn't really matter if they wear one sock and one red sock and one yellow sock, you know, it doesn't matter. Or something that you can go, okay, I don't really care what they wear, what they put on today. Which jumper do you want on, you know, and which arm do you want to put in your coat first? This arm or this arm? So you're giving them choices and so they feel that a sense of control in that area of their life. Because if they have this sense of control over nothing, and then food and sleep become the only thing they can control, and they will fight for it. And
I mean, that helps as the parent or caregiver, because you are allowing that child to feel safe and secure to make a choice. And that is going to have that ripple effect. And so we really needed to explain that we're not a sleep training program. That's not what it's about. However, we have a lot of knowledge in aspects of how children may be manifesting their worries, fears, and concerns, their control in a situation, by bedtime madness, which can really, really cause a lot of issues and exhaustion in a parent. The book's out on Monday. We're very excited about that. A couple of other things I just want to add once you get into that routine. Don't have all the lights on. You know, try and have dinner by candlelight if you can, a safe one, or even one of those battery operated ones. Let children get into that feeling that, you know, we can't have lights, action, camera, and then everything's off now, go to sleep. You know, have it in the evening, so that, you know, maybe get some of those battery operated candles so that you have a bit of candlelight in the home, not the big lights all the time. You know, have bedtime books. Children who constantly want the same thing. I mean, look at audio books. They're fantastic for little kids. They love listening to audio books, and just let them sit and enjoy that aspect, and let them have, you know, control of which audio book they're going to listen to. It certainly can stop you having to read the same books over and over and over again. And you can then bring in, well, mummy, daddy, or the person who is putting them to sleep is going to read you this story. And then you can have one of your audio books that you can choose. Things like that are really important. And also, the nutritional aspects we can talk about at another time, but they make huge impacts on little children. So we'll have another quick video about that. But we just wanted to let you know that we're not a sleep training program, but with the Sleep Talk Method Parent Handbook, you get the benefits of actually getting your children into a great routine. And do remember, parents, children getting up in the morning and being told, get up now, come and have breakfast, it's time to get ready for school, put on your shoes, put them back. All they hear is get up now. So do keep one command at 1, 2 commands at 2, 3 commands at 3. And that's a message for teachers as well. If you start to say, everybody come in, put your bag away, get your lunch boxes out, are there any diaries or notes? Take your shoes off, put your indoor, they're back at everybody come in. They just do not have the executive function. So go slowly with predictable elements and build them up slowly, so that your child really doesn't feel like, oh, I'm coming inside and what am I meant to be doing? it does raise stress levels in little children. So something to be aware of. So we're excited to grow our community. Please like, please share our page, please enjoy opting in so we can give you the Amazon link for Monday, the 24th of March, 2025.
I think, as we were saying, with the routine, the sleep routine and the sleep talk method, they sort of work together symbiotically. So they're working together for the same aim and the same goal.
Yeah, and certainly having a routine as a parent as well, to be able to bring that into your home really helps the security for your child, because you're the one that is doing that with your child rather than following a structure. Sometimes some of the sleep programs or training methods, which I'm not completely familiar with, but they do have cookie cutter methodology behind them, which doesn't always suit a particular child. So being aware that, yeah, maybe you are having some issues, putting in some simple things, as Sonia suggested, starting in the morning, and it can be as simple as eliminating that hypoglycemia with a little bit of juice, can set up for a happy day. And then considering those things that we've talked about, and then moving into the sleep talk method. And we've got examples in the book in how you can introduce that without even it being for the child sleeping initially. So there's ways you can work these affirmations into things, and as things start to get a little bit more supportive of a harmonious bedtime routine, then it can be brought in another way. So,
well, I think you used a really good word there, the harmonious. So the sleep talk method works in harmony with your bedtime routine, and and this is it creates more than, it's that symbiotic relationship, as you were saying, creates more than the sum of the pair, as it were. So you've got the bedtime routine improving and the sleep talk method then helping to improve the bedtime routine. It sort of builds,
And I, having lived in Asia for the past 30 years, am very aware that in this culture, most children are co-sleeping, or the family are all sleeping together. Book, we have wanted to have it as a resource for all parents, all cultures, to build those foundations for their harmonious family and their particular situation. So there's lots of information in there that can be absolutely perfect for your family, other situations that you may not. And that was the whole point of us wanting to bring this handbook to parents with all the information. And of course, we'll keep up with these quick YouTube videos as well with parenting tips. And we'll put out blogs for each one that we talk about. So we're here to give you information. I'm Carla in Hong Kong, Sleep Talk Method, Sleep Talk Process, Sleep Talk for Children. And I'm going to say bye and hand over to Sonia.
And I'm Sonia Moriarty in Sydney, Kids on Top Sleep Talk Method. And thank you, and looking forward to seeing you on Monday.
And I'm 𝗦𝗃𝗏 in New Zealand. So that's Sleep Talk Method New Zealand. And look forward to Monday. Yes, and get on the internet and get that book ordered, so you got it at a cheaper price.
That's right. 24 hours for our launch day.
No,
it's fine. It's 24 hours our launch day. You can tell we're very excited.
My brain,
If we were a little child, if we were little children, we wouldn't be going to bed, would we? We would not be going to bed if we were little children. We'd be saying, is it time?
I'm very excited about our book.
Are we there?
Excited about our book.
Bye-bye all. Take care.